Well guys, it is finally here. Blue Beetle, DC's hybrid Spider-Man and Iron Man origin story is here. And while many are going to look at this film as the same old thing we've seen in just about every comic book film during the course of the last 15 years, which mind you isn't wrong, it is in fact right, that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a stellar film. And dare I say it, one of the best DC offerings in the last few years, certainly since the release of the Batman. DC Comics' Blue Beetle is finally here, a film that shifted from a smaller hybrid release that was supposed to be a small theatrical run with an HBO Max release day and date that went on and became a full-fledged theatrical release that significantly upped its budget, going from a small-scale 40 to 50 million to 125 million plus, did help this film significantly, but also you can see that it's very much a holdover and something that feels like it's an expensive made-for-streaming film, which in my opinion isn't all that bad. Yes, some of the visual effects are a little cheap and almost remind you of something on the CW like Superman and Lois, which if you've seen that series does have some of the best visual effects we've seen from anything DC on TV. I'm not taking anything away from it because in my opinion Superman and Lois is the best comic book TV series in the last decade. Yes, I put it over every single Marvel show, sorry. What I'm trying to say is that the visual effects don't take away from everything in this film that stands out and is great. Being somebody who is a foreigner and an immigrant in the United States, I understood, even though I'm not Latino, obviously, the family dynamic and the relationship drives this film. And that comes through in every single scene, where during a normal conversation, you see them shift from their native language to English and back, and it comes off so authentic. And the family element carries throughout the entire film and really makes you care about these characters. Especially how they all react to Jaime, the almost Cronenberg transformation he's going through, and also how he reacts to them. The family element makes this feel more authentic and leagues ahead of all the recent DC films we've seen. The action is great, it's frantic, and honestly, it's shot very well. The film never takes too long to take you from one sequence that might be action to the next one, just like when you feel like it needs to happen. I never felt truly bored during this, and as a matter of fact, I wish that the film could have been a little bit longer and explored more of the family and their dynamic. And once again, I am trying to avoid all spoilers in this, but I will say that the origin story was done quite well, and they're definitely teasing multiple other things related to Blue Beetle that I hope can pay off, even though this film is not in the DCU, but the character will be. And by the time the film is done, honestly, that doesn't take away anything from it, because just bringing him into whatever they have planned is, I think, going to fit perfectly. Mainly because the villain of this film is so forgettable and so disposable that once the film is over, you honestly forget that the villain even existed. And I think that's my biggest complaint about the film. He's generic, he's just there, and he's a typical comic book villain for a first outing. You know, the typical, hey, it's sort of like the mirror to the hero. And that's one thing I think many people are going to have problems with, is that this film doesn't do too much new. It's as safe as comic book films tend to get these days, and it doesn't take many risks. But honestly, for Blue Beetle, I don't think it had to or needed to. I think Blue Beetle is a great example of taking a character that's super obscure, giving him a modest budget that doesn't need to be over 200 million, putting a great film out and hopefully building a fan base. This film very much reminds me of a Phase 1 MCU film, where you see the foundation and the groundwork that they're laying down, but it's not perfect by any means. But it has charm, it has charisma, and it has a promise of if we get more, they're going to nail one of the best interpretations of a character of this caliber and make him more of a household name if just people give it a chance. In my opinion, if James Gunn can follow this up with more films like this, DC fans are going to be in for a treat. This is the best DC film I've seen since The Batman, and it's not even a comparison. It's better than Black Adam, it's way better than Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and better than The Flash. If you have a chance or any interest in this character, or it looks mildly entertaining, please go watch this film. You will not be disappointed if you just go in expecting a Phase 1 style film that promises that if this one is successful, you're gonna get a lot better follow-ups. You guys know we do not grade things here on the channel. I absolutely hate attaching a number to things. But what I can say is that this film deserves to be seen, especially for our Latino community who's been waiting for a character of their own like this. I cannot wait to see this again, and I am buying the Steelbook the moment it's available, and I think that's the highest endorsement I can possibly give it. If it's joining my ongoing collection of Steelbooks, that is a strong endorsement. Blue Beetle is a major win in my book.